Hey, welcome back to the Club Junkie Podcast. Hopefully, you're having a great week. It is another Thursday. I know this is coming out late. I was traveling all yesterday, but hey, we got another show for you. But before we get into today's episode, just want to let you know this episode is brought to you by Titleist and the new GT Series drivers. In pursuit of speed and playable distance, Titleist engineers developed a new material construction that unlocks the next generation of driving excellence. The new GT drivers represent the biggest technological leap ever in Titleist driver design. Inside the head, a new split mass construction positions weight both forward and back to optimize speed, launch angle, and spin to the specific player needs for each GT driver model. I was a GT2 guy. I really like the GT2, the forgiveness, the spin, or the forgiveness, the distance, all that. Great combination. Very, very playable. From the outside, the GT drivers deliver stunning, seamless thermoform crown, presenting a classic, confident package that feels as good as it looks. And I would be able to say the GT2, GT3, GT4, you almost can't tell the difference between them, and you almost don't know that there's a composite top on the top of the driver. The GT's new crown construction also introduces a proprietary matrix polymer never before used in golf. This ultra lightweight material offers a versatile performance of composite while delivering Titleist's signature sound and feel. Experience a new class of drivers with the Titleist GT. To learn more about each GT model and find a fitting event near you, visit Titleist.com. So we're having a good Thursday. Yeah, I know this usually comes out at like 8 a.m. first thing in the morning on Thursday. I was actually traveling all yesterday. I was actually down at the Tour Championship. I was down there for part of the Creator Classic, and then flew late night home last night. So I landed at about I think 12:30 ish, and by the time I got my car and drove home and all that, it was well after 1. And yeah, it was just had to shower, all that. So it was a late day or a late night. But yeah, so I slept in a little bit. I do have to say, slept in a little bit, and now back at it. So Creative Classic was pretty cool. Went down there. It was definitely way different than I thought. It was pretty interesting to see a bunch of players out there. They were all taking it far. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of like a casual, whatever, who cares, not who cares, but like, casual, whatever, and have some fun, whatever. Almost everybody was taking it really, really serious. They were like ready to play. They were really like grinding on the range. Luke Kwan, I don't think left. I mean, he was on a putting green for like an hour, just working on putts. Some of the like Gabby Golf Girl, Amy Cho, they were over on the short game area, just working on wedge progressions and hitting different shots. And same thing on the range. You get out there, and they were definitely out there, hitting shots, um, trying to get better, trying to get the game dialed in. So it was definitely more serious than I thought. It was pretty cool. I mean, there were a few people. I mean, people were still having fun. There were smiles going around or whatever, but they were definitely taking it more serious than I thought. So pretty cool to see down there. Talk to a few people. I know we're going to throw up some. We got a few little videos and stuff that we'll throw up from there. That we were down on the putting green and the range and stuff. So it was fun. It was a good time. So went down there, checked it out, and yeah, it was hot. I'll tell you what, we were down there Tour Championship. There were no. I got there early in the morning. I flew in super early, and there was really pro wise like not a lot of people. Like we uh, the range was maybe 2 to 3 guys. I think the max we ever saw on the range was 4. On the putting green, same thing. You maybe saw 2, 3 guys between putting green and short game area. They were just not out on a Wednesday morning. And then once the Creator Classic happened, all those people were gone. I think Adam Scott came out for like a hot minute, realized the putting green was just full of people. I think he hit like 2 putts, and then he took off. He was like, nope, this isn't working. So he was out of there. But it was pretty cool to see. And then yeah, of course, you get to watch it. I didn't get to watch it because unfortunately I was basically back to the airport and getting on a flight, so I unfortunately didn't watch it. But came back and saw that Luke Kwan won. So pretty cool for him to win the inaugural Creator Classic. But it was pretty cool. Talked to Riggs about his driver setup. He was playing a TaylorMade QI10 Max. I guess he usually played the QI10, had a max head, tossed it on a Ventus TR Blue 6 stiff, and he was playing that. He was going to hit that. So I think he missed the fairway on it, but he said he was nervous, and he had that driver, and he played really well with it. I think he put it in play. He had the standard QI10. He put the max in play when he went to Bandon with some of his buddies, and then he hit it well. So he just kind of kept it in the bag, which was the story there. So pretty cool to talk to him and kind of see what he was set up. It was funny. He kind of handed me a driver, like, you know what this is more than I do. But it was pretty cool. So talked to him, and yeah, it was a fun event. So it was pretty cool. Got to go down there, and then but it was quick. In the morning, out at night. So flew in. I think I landed at 7:15 in the morning down in Atlanta. Tursky picked me up. We drove over to the course, and then I had a 10:30 flight out of there. So I was in and out in the same day. I was, back in Metro Detroit less than 24 hours from when I left. So it was quick. It was quick, hot, fun, sweaty. It was all of that. So we're yeah, I got a show. We're talking today about a little bit about a putter that I've been messing with. That just came out. I know my what's in the bag is pretty much dialed. I think next week I'll do kind of. I hate to call it like end of the season what's in the bag, but man, we're getting close. It's basically Labor Day this coming weekend, so summer at least here in Metro Detroit is pretty much over. I mean, we'll still have some good golf days, through basically October, but for the most part, the light at the end of the tunnel is getting darker and dimmer, which is unfortunate. But I think I've got it pretty much dialed in. The only thing that I think is a little kind of iffy is driver. So I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna play tomorrow. Film some three swing challenge stuff that we put on the Golf Barracks YouTube. If you check those out, I think they're kind of fun. Just take a club and put three swings on it and give it a rating. But three swing challenge, I'm going to film some more of that tomorrow. I've got to put together a few more clubs. I try to go out and do like four in a day if I can, like in an 18 hole, do two on the front nine, two on the back nine, depending on what the clubs are and stuff like that. Usually, if it's irons, I get it done within the first four holes because you're hitting shots on those. But yeah, it's so I'll do that, and then I'm gonna play around with probably my brother, my dad. I don't know who else, but we'll play another round as well. So I'll play twice over Labor Day weekend, which is good. And I think I'm gonna bring, as usual, I'm probably gonna bring two bags down. I'll probably bring my Friday bag for three swing challenge, and then I might bring the gamer bag. I'm kind of excited. I think I might bring the gamer bag down and play that on over the weekend. So hopefully it's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be nice out. I have league tonight. I don't know if I'm unfortunately going to make it. My daughter's starting her kind of kindergarten type thing. We've got an orientation this afternoon, so I don't know if I'm going to be done in time to make it to league tonight. But hopefully I will, and if so, I will definitely get a what's in the bag video up on YouTube for what's in the bag. So again, we'll still find out. I've been playing terrible in my league. I've just been hitting the ball like absolute crap. I can't. I don't get off the tee well, and then honestly, I fire off some really bad shot in the middle of nowhere. Like just I'll hit a decent tee shot and I'll just be in like the left rough, and I'll walk over, have like a really easy iron shot, and then just like flare it right OB or something like that. Just some weird stuff. So I'm trying to kind of limit that, but the game has been a, kind of a struggle out there. So it's not the best there. It's probably good that we're getting to the end of summer. Maybe I just need to take a little time away and get and just kind of forget about the swing and then bring it back. But I don't know. So, but I love playing. So it's going to be hard to do that. But we'll get to the range a little more this winter. Try to work on hitting the ball a little more solid, and then we'll see what 2025 brings. But I don't think I'll be playing in the Creator Classic or anything like that because that was brutal. I saw what is it like Garrett had a 9. I would have been dead last place for sure. So, but anyway, it was yeah. But we'll talk about putter. But yeah, what's in the bag is pretty much locked. The other thing too is putter. I'm kind of going between two putters, and it's just interesting because I putt really well with one day, really well with the other. The next day, and I just kind of go between. I like both of them, so it's been kind of tough deciding which putter is going to make the bag. So, but yeah, but it's getting that narrowed down. I always love that I get my what's in the bag finished, and then the season's over, and then I start working again next part of the year. And yes, I know people always say, hey, you should stick with one thing. You'll probably play a lot better. Honestly, I feel like there was a guy in my league because I played so poorly in my league last week, and asked me, and he's like, well, what if you just played the same clubs every week? Wouldn't that be better? And I was like, you know what? Honestly, the misses that I feel like I hit that caused me big problems, like just missing one off the toe and coming up short of the green, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, that happens to all of us. We all miss, whether you're playing your gamer irons or something else or, different clubs in the bag. The misses that kill me are the ones that are just, like I said, that flared out right shot or the big old snap hook, OB. those are the shots that are killing me. And to those, it probably doesn't matter what club I have, because it's not like I put a new club in the bag and I just, snap hook everything dead left and, OB. I'll hit a few good shots with it, and then I'll do that, or I'll hit one, or I'll go back and forth. And when I put my gamer in the bag, I get a lot of the same, the same shots. I don't have. It's not like I put a gamer in the bag or something that's the gamer, and all of a sudden I'm just hitting it flush and I'm playing amazing golf. Like, I'm still hitting the same bad shots I hit with all the other clubs as I do with the ones that I consider gamers. So maybe it might save me like a stroke, something like that. That maybe I have one less of those misses or something like that with a full set, full gamer set. But I don't think it changes much more than that. Maybe a stroke for 18 or 9 hole. Maybe 1 to 2 for 18. But I mean, that doesn't change if you go out there and blast an 88 and it turns it into an 86. I don't think that really makes a huge difference. So at least to me, I don't think that makes a big difference. But yeah, so it's there. But we'll get to what's in the bag next week. Like I said, I've got it pretty much narrowed down. I'll probably narrow it down this weekend with driver and putters. It's really more driver shaft and putters, and then I'll have the rest of the bag is pretty much set and solid. So we'll get that rolling. But yeah, big thing to have what's in the bag done, and I got to figure out what I'm going to bring down for 3-swing challenge. I think we'll do. We got a new iron. I got to see. I've got the Mizuno irons, so got a handful of stuff. So we'll do that. But anyway, before we get into the putter review, I know this is going to be kind of a shorter episode. I don't mean it to be, but it's going to be a little shorter just because I'm kind of running late. But before we get into the putter episode, hey, Olukai makes some phenomenal golf shoes, and the next generation of Olukai golf is the McKenna golf shoe. Its outsole is plated for maximum traction, and the spikes are actually inspired by the waves of Hawaii. It's a fully waterproof shoe, so you'll stay dry no matter the conditions, whether you're out playing, get caught in the rain, or you're early dew sweeper like me and you're out there and you just have a wet fairway all the time. Your feet will stay dry and comfortable throughout the round. It's tested on some of the best courses in Hawaii, so you know it's going to handle whatever conditions you can throw at it. Good walk is emblemized on the outsole. It's the famous quote, "Golf is a good walk spoiled." And we believe in walking. So these shoes are designed to keep you comfortable on your feet well beyond 18 holes. So hey, get that emergency 9 in, take that extra holes, make sure the match isn't tied, get out and play. You're going to be comfortable. Maybe your opponent won't. So go to Olukai Golf, go Olukai.com, check out the new McKenna Olukai golf shoe. Really phenomenal design there. Olukai.com. So the putter we're going to talk about today is one that's had a ton of interest or a lot of chat in the Golf to BRX forums. It is the brand new, let's get the head cover on it, the brand new PXG Allan putter. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can kind of see the putter there, but the putter head cover. But this is the brand new Allan putter that they did, and the Allan putter is kind of their new zero. What do they call it? Zero balance or zero torque balance putter. So when you hold it and it's not being manipulated in any way, the face is pointed towards the target at all times. This is similar to lab putters in a way. When you hold them and just kind of let them rest on the shaft there, the face isn't pointing straight up in the air like a face balance putter. It doesn't have any toe hang. It is basically set perfectly so. When you hold it and you're not influencing it in any way, that putter face is going to point right at your target at all times. So again, very similar to what in a sense, what Lab does or what Axis One does. Adele did it for a little while, as did I think there was like 1 or 2 others as well. So I know Callaway did it with the toe-up putters a long time ago, but definitely a different design and something that's pretty darn interesting because it is such a hot thing. Like out on tour, you have Lab kind of going crazy with a bunch of people playing their putter, but this is definitely something that they say it's all kind of influenced by physics, and they use this kind of unique little S hosel. So the hosel, instead of going, like Lab, the shaft goes straight into the middle of the putter. This uses kind of a little hosel, an S hosels they call it, that basically virtually makes the putter go, or the shaft go into the putter, kind of right below, more heel side of center than actual center. So it basically, like I said, the big thing is putting is very difficult, and the whole key to this is keeping the face square to your target at impact, and that is what this putter does. So with all that, I mean, it does have a pretty interesting look, as most putters that are, this kind of balance have. But I do have to say it's pretty traditional in terms of the look. It's kind of a, you know, trapezoidal type look to it, but pretty traditional mallet looking. If it had a regular hosel, I think you would just think it's a traditional mallet. It's got kind of flares out and then tapers towards the back, and then it's got like a large aluminum piece on the top where the sight line is. The one cool thing, which I mean, I've always been my one kind of thing with lab is that I like a long straight sight line. And with like a lab putter, you can't get that. There's just different shapes and the way the shaft goes in. This here, you actually do see a full length shaft line or a sight line, which is pretty nice because the shaft does kind of stop and it looks like it virtually goes into the head just below or just heel side of that sight line. So I do have to say I like that. The contrasting look of a black head with that silver kind of a rectangle on the top with the black sight line looks pretty good. It's pretty easy to line up, and when you set it down on the ground, it sets square. Like it's got kind of two little pads on the bottom. When you look at the bottom of it, it's got the face section, which is actually the hollow design, much like they did with a lot of the Battle Ready 2 putters. It's hollow with the polymer material filled into it, and then on the bottom of the backside there, it's got another silver piece, and those two actually have like a little arch in them, and it actually has little ball pickups. So you can actually pick up the ball on the green with it very easily. It takes very little, if zero pressure, picks up a ball simply. But the design, the look of it, I think is pretty simple. It's pretty nice looking. It's always weird, a little bit weird when the shaft goes into the putter at a slightly different angle like this. But it looks good. It's got the pyramid face on it that most PXG putters have had for a while. But overall, it's a pretty simple shape, a pretty classic look in a way for this type of putter. So that part of it I do like, and then it's just had mine just has steel shaft with a kind of a flat so 1.0 grip on it. The PXG branded Super Strokes kind of a flat so 1.0 on there as well. Now this is built for me, so it's like 33.5 inches. But they also do have the movable weight, so if you make this longer or shorter, you can adjust the two forward weights. But definitely an interesting putter, definitely an interesting design. When we first went out there and saw it and got to putt with it, everybody kind of like, the first thing they thought was like, oh, it's, your kind of version of lab. They wouldn't necessarily say that in terms of what they're doing, but it's a putter that I guess Bob was a big fan of. The name Allan on it actually is his for his late brother, who unfortunately is no longer with us. But he liked it so much that he named it after his brother, which I think is kind of cool. And he does really like the putter a lot. This is what he uses. But overall, just a really like putter. It's interesting because I feel like lab, it's kind of promoted as or it's kind of thought of as like a straight back, straight through putter, even though I don't think that is necessarily the case. But it's thought of that way. And this, PXG is basically saying any stroke, whether you're straight back, straight through, whether you have arc, the way the center of gravity is kind of in, the kind of center, but just slightly back location on this putter, that it works with a stroke with arc in it, with a little bit of arc, straight back, straight through. It's going to work with any of those. And the other thing they kind of talked about was with the design, moving a lot of weight kind of out to the perimeter and back adds a lot of stability to the putter also. So when you do mishit it, it stays on line. And they had some kind of tests out there out in Scottsdale where they would kind of put this thing in a little pendulum and they would hit balls off the toe and the heel and kind of show the rollout differences and how minimal they were. And in that environment it was pretty interesting. They would set balls out on the toe at a certain spot and hit them, and like I said, they had this little pendulum thing that would always take it back to the same spot and release it. And yeah, the rollout differences were so minimal watching it roll in this kind of this putting green simulation. So pretty interesting there. They also have I think in their stores, you're going to see on the grip, it's going to have this little plastic tube thing that rotates to kind of show how this putter, keeps the face square the whole time, because it's almost like a huge grip on there, and you can actually put this little rotating plastic thing. It's clear. You can put it right in like any putter, and it just snaps on, and then that way it just rotates. So it was pretty interesting to see that you could putt with that and put it on there. But overall, like I said, the putter looks are pretty good. They have a more traditional look to it than some other putters out there with this, and I like the fact that you can kind of see the long straight sight line on it. Out on the course, I played probably 36 holes of this thing, and it's good. As I say, sound and feel are very battle ready too. It's crisp off the face. This pyramid thing offers. I would think it would offer like almost like a softer feel with the pyramid face, but it is actually a little bit firmer than I expected. But it's still nice. It's, the sound, the vibration, and all that is dampened pretty well with the with that polymer material inside. The ball has a really, really good roll with the diamond face. It comes off pretty fast, or comes off pretty much with immediate top spin, no skidding, no hopping, anything like that. Much like the other Battle Ready 2s. I mean, I've had a Brandon, I've had a bunch of Bat Attacks. I've always thought the roll was really good. This probably feels the firmest out of all of them, while still actually having putting that good, nice roll on. I play in the early when it has a lot of dew, and you can actually see right there the putter or the ball kind of move. You'll see maybe like an initial little hop, and then it just rolls immediately. So S-Core polymer inside allows again more weight to be kind of moved to the outside and kind of softens up the feel a little bit. But depending on what ball you're gonna play, you're gonna hear a little click. You're gonna get some audible sound to it. I was actually just down here. I was just down here on my putting green a little bit ago and hitting some balls, and they were, even with a soft ball like a Z Star Diamond, you can still kind of feel a little or hear a little bit of audible click, but it's not bad. And I think a lot of people like a little bit of that feedback. Feedback's good on miss hits. You're going to hear the feel of it. You're not going to, you'll feel a little bit more firmness as you move out to the toe and the heel on this, but the overall sound and feel through all shots on this is pretty solid. And then, yeah, when you're out there putting, does it have this feel? It does. It's got like a very blade-like feel. It's weird because your hands are waiting for a sense of like rotation there, and you're waiting for the putter to kind of feel that toe kind of slide open or slide close, or have that feel of a face balance mallet, and it doesn't have any of those. It's very neutral, where you're almost, you almost have to kind of create, for me, a very light grip pressure. And as the cliche says, let the club do the work. Because if you try to manipulate it, it'll move. If you want to twist the face, you can twist the face on it. But if you just let it kind of go through the stroke, the face will stay square at impact. But it's a very different feel, when you get it on there, and it's hard to explain. But that's how I kind of feel like it's extremely neutral. That you almost don't feel anything in a sense as it goes through. You don't feel the toe want to open or close or anything. It's very much you just don't feel anything. It's just you move, kind of moving the putter through the stroke. And I think that's what they're trying to achieve, is because they're trying to keep it square, whether you kind of put arc in it through the stroke or you keep it straight back, straight through. As long as the face is squared impact, you're going to get more putts towards your target. And if you read it right with a decent speed, it should be a makeable putter, pretty darn close. So feel throughout the stroke is definitely a little bit different, and it is different compared to a lab. Like swinging, say, like my DF3 versus the Mez 1 versus this, definitely a different feel. For whatever reason, they are kind of weighted differently in a way, and the feel on the lab is just a little bit different. I feel like the lab almost wants to force the face straight, like it wants to force the face straight and forward, where this stays very neutral. So it's got less kind of that kind of influence on your hands than a lab putter does, and that was kind of the big difference I noticed between the two. So the feels are a little different, even though they're kind of similar design. They do not feel exactly the same. So I don't know if part of that's the lie angle thing or whatever the lab does with theirs, but they do feel a little bit different. And I'll call this one more neutral, as in you're not going to feel as much of the head there. It's just going to be kind of there. Where to me, lab almost wants to it almost propels forward into the ball in a way of that feeling. So those are the two, the kind of difference I feel between the two putters. But overall performance of it is solid. Like I said, sound and feels really good. I think stability is pretty solid as well. Getting used to it and making sure your hands aren't manipulating the face. I did have quite a few miss hits when I was just getting started with it, and those miss hits rolled out pretty well. I was getting the ball closer to the hole or to the hole, not expecting it to. And as I got used to just, letting my hands, become kind of stagnant through the swing, that was a big portion of it. So once I was doing that, I was good. But for the first probably few holes, few practice sessions, I was definitely kind of struggling to find the dead center of the face. And then once I did, it became pretty easy. But it's all in, again, letting kind of the club do it and keeping very, very gentle and kind of silent hands in a way. But it puts a good roll on the ball. Will you make every single putt with it because of its design? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any putter out there that's that magical that you'll just make everything. But a lot of people have found that as I said in the beginning, putting's tough. If you can take one factor out of it, which is keeping the face square to the target, that's one thing less you have to worry about. It gives you a little bit more, better of a chance to make more putts, and that's what this does. But it overall works really well. Again, the look of it and all that. People with putters, look and sound and feel is very subjective, and people, will look. Some people are going to look at this and say, "Hey, it's ugly," and I understand. It's definitely a different look. But I also think people, once they start using putters like this, they start to realize some of the technology can work for them, and it might, and they may be more consistent with their putting. But overall, the Allen is pretty solid. If you're looking to kind of try, something that's a little different, if you're kind of on the search for a putter that just works for you and whatnot, then this could be it. I will say that if you just grab it and throw it in your bag and without practicing or anything, it's probably not going to click immediately. It's going to take a little bit of a practice session, maybe a round or two, and you'll get it down. But it's definitely something interesting, and I think it's pretty cool to see. PXG kind of putting a lot of thought and all that in there. I putted pretty well with it. I've been kind of hit or miss, and I think again, beginning was getting used to it. Being so much different, I thought it was going to be just like my lab putters, just go out, roll it like that, and it wasn't quite exactly that same feel. So it did take a little bit more getting used to. But once I did, I rolled some good putts, and I noticed that stability was good, stuff stayed on line well. The roll on miss hits, all that was really good. And then center strikes weren't necessarily like crazy hot or any different. Like you just got a slightly different kind of sound and feel, ended up with a good roll. And, I didn't make a million putts out like Scottsdale when I first got it. I did putt pretty well, and I was hitting the lines that I was trying to hit. Now, did I read them right? Well, some I did, some I didn't. Um, but overall, a really solid putter. I think they did a nice job with the Allen. If you're looking to try something, I mean, I know, people look at some other options out there, these style putters, and they are pretty expensive. This one's not cheap. It's $449, so not cheap. And then you can also add, that's just with the steel shaft, and then you can of course add the M16 shaft and some other stuff. So this can definitely climb up a bit as well. But 449 for a and it's fully milled. I mean, you look at the top; it's got all the milling on it. It's multi-piece, all metal. I mean, it's well built. I mean, they put a lot of thought into this, and a lot of like nice kind of softer edges to it as well. So it's not just a harshly milled piece of metal here. It does look nice, and they did a nice job with it. And there's some tech in there with the S core technology inside of it. So this isn't just a piece of just big piece of steel that you can't putt with. So, but the Allen putter is good if you're looking for something. This zero torque balance, or however everybody calls it. It's definitely an option out there that may look a little different, maybe better to the eye to you, and also just some other things about it. But definitely a solid putter, rolls the ball really well, and the face does stay square to the target, so it does help with that part of putting. So if you go to pxg.com, you can check out the PXG Allen putter, all the different options. Like I said, I've got mine kind of built up to 33.5 inches. I think it's a standard lie angle, and then a flat toe grip. So pretty nice there, but a good setup. And they've even got like a special kind of head cover for it. They had to do a little bit like of elastic around the magnetic closure to go around the shaft, since it's not quite center shafted, but it's close to center shafted. So they had to do something a little different. So it's interesting to see that, but nice head cover with the PXG logo all over it. So overall, a really good package. Like I said, you go to pxg.com, you can kind of check out all the different videos and all that they have around it, as well as kind of build your own with all the different options. So check that out. But the PXG Allen putter, really solid offering, and yeah, you can even make it. If you put on the Super Strokes on it, you could probably get the heavier weights, make it counterbalance, put a little weight in the back, under the grip as well. Could be pretty interesting. Could set that up in a few different ways. So, but yeah, overall a really solid putter, and a pretty new offering in that zero torque balance, zero torque type putter setting. So go there, check it out. That's all I got today. Again, I told you this is going to be a short episode, and yeah, just running a little late, trying to get everything up, and trying to get back into the swing of things after a travel day. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Have a great Labor Day. Stay safe out there. Hopefully you play some golf. I'm going to play some golf and play well. So we'll talk next week. Have a good one.